Well, welcome everyone to Orion Homestead Project Skoolie Edition. This is now episode 7, and we got some stuff to talk about. As you can see, I'm sitting on one of the latest editions, and there's a good reason for it, which you'll see later in the video. It sure makes getting in and out of the back of that bus a whole lot easier. We got some electrical things that I've knocked out and got in place. Propane system is done, fully installed. All of the connections and everything is in place and tightened. More of the whole insulation and plywood stuff. Got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to walk you through, so let's get after it. Well, welcome back YouTube. It is Sunday, March the 2nd. New month, new activities, new things going on. Got quite a bit that I've accomplished over the past week. I've got some crazy stuff to show you. So the first thing we'll do is probably go in the Wayback Machine and show you some things that I have done earlier in the week. And then we'll pick it up and give you a quick walkthrough of where we're at right now and what we've got going on. So let's get after it. Welcome back YouTube. So this is a special edition video to show you some of the crazy things that I have to do to build this bus. It's after work, it's Monday, it's February 24th. I just closed out my last episode, so this will go into episode 7. But I'm about to do some crazy stuff. I got to get something in the bus that weighs more than I do. So I'm going to put this on time lapse, and succeed or fail, we're going to see it together, raw and unedited. Holy cow, there it is. It worked. I am so happy. That is my refrigerator freezer combo that goes in the kitchen. Got delivered on my front sidewalk today, so I had to get it in based on the weather. So the idea I had was to build this ramp. All that plywood is my cabinet sides that I cut out, so the cabinets for the kitchen, and the 2x4s for the framing. I had a whole bunch of pallets laying around and use them to build up a platform that would get me high enough to get it into the bus. Holy cow, I'm tired. That was a lot of work. One of the biggest things that I'm really happy about is the fact that my emergency brake ideal worked. I was thinking about the weight of that thing coming up here, and as you can see right down there, I've got that angle iron and that bungee cord, and I wrapped that bungee cord around the axle of the dolly, and then used the bungee cord to pull that angle iron up against the wheels. It allowed it to roll backwards, but if it started going forward, it would stop it, and I tested it in the early stages of the ramp, and it worked. So I started using it to my advantage as I was going up. Problem was, it was just a little bit too wide. It would have fit through the door, but it would have made it harder. So that's why I had to kick that thing out of there when I got to the door. One of the other challenges that I had was with the fridge being on the dolly and the height of the carton and all that. There wasn't enough clearance for me to be able to stand it up. So at that point, you saw me pop off the cargo strap and free that up so I could get that dolly out from under it, and then it just settled right back down, and I pulled it out of the way. But got her in. I'm gonna have to open it up now, and pretty sure that I'm gonna have to take the doors off to get it in between the equipment cabinets on each side, the wheel wells area. But I'll figure that out. I just need to unbox it now. I'll probably do that at some point, but at least I got it in. It's out of the weather, and that makes me happy. Makes it kind of difficult to get in and around, but I got it. So I was a little bit leery of it. Success or fail, we were on video, and it seemed like I passed. So I appreciate it. We'll be back with more. Thank you. Oh, by the way, I do want to point out, I don't know if you caught it in the time lapse, but on my last episode, I said that I was going to show you the template I use for cutting the top side of the plywood, and I forgot to do that. So it was laying out there on the table when I was cleaning everything up and moving everything out of the way. So I picked it up and showed it, and there you go. You saw the template. I'll probably do a little bit more on it later, but for right now, that's it. Have a great one. All right, YouTube, it's Tuesday. We're resurrecting an old-time favorite, the Lunchtime Blitz. It is currently my lunchtime. I've got 50 minutes. Well, everybody, there it is. I think that I lost all of the time lapse. I'm not sure. I can't tell out here in the bus, but I hope that it recorded and I can share it with you. But just in case it didn't work, and if it did, then I'll revisit this. But there it is. It's a top freezer, bottom fridge. That's in the general location of where I might put it. I don't know. I haven't quite made up my mind yet. I'm going to drop the plastic bag back down over the top of it. I wanted to pull that off so I could open it up and show you. It's not a small fridge for a bus. Top freezer there. Bottom fridge there. Picked this up basically off of Amazon. Got it because it had a lot of really good reviews. One thing that I can tell you is coming back here through this, I had basically about 1/8 of an inch on each side to get it through there. I know that now it will go through here, so that just supports more information on me trying to do what I said in my last video about keeping the center of this open with the bed so that I can get things in and out. So nothing lasts forever, so if I need to be able to make use of this wide door, because it won't fit through the front door, I know that for a fact. But that's it. I got it, and I've been fighting with the GoPro, but the total time on this start to finish once I got it in place was 20 minutes, so not too bad. But I'm going to wrap this up for right now and get back to work. Go back a little early, and I'll be back after work to get everything cleaned up and maybe do some more stuff. Well, that time lapse definitely did not work, but I just had to share it with you to show you that things aren't always the way we expected. One of the things that I do want to point out that I was able to do last week is when I built that ramp to get that fridge in, I liked it so much that I repurposed some OSB that I had left over from when I was working on the shed, and I kept the ramp in place, and it makes it a lot easier to get in and out of here, that's for sure. So this is a permanent fixture now. I did add some jacks to the outside of the side here to give it a little bit of stability. It's a little bit better, not bad, but I just wanted to share that the ramp is now permanent, and it definitely made my life easier trying to get that fridge up in here. Coming back in here now, one of the things that I want to share with you is that I did get my battery compartment in for this side. This is the battery compartment for my 12-volt batteries. All of the 12-volt distribution is going to go on this side. I did get this side framed in, as you can see. Got it all the way up to the ceiling. Still need to do some finish work on it, but I'm working on it. There's all the electrical wiring. That's one of the things that I'm going to work on today, is getting the AC distribution wiring in for at least the mini splits, if not more, and try to get some of that stuff going. There's a few circuits that I can run because I know where everything's going, so I'll get those in. There's my 12-volt AC distribution panel. This is going to be a unique setup, and I'll share how that's going to work with you later once I get it wired up, so you can see how it's going to work. But yours truly made a very serious mistake in doing this, trying to frame this up. So the spacing between that stud there and over here was supposed to be perfect for me to be able to get that panel in there and screw it down and all that kind of stuff. Well, one of the things that I did was I added this stud right here to help brace, support, and frame that. Well, as you can see, this thing no longer fits, so I'm going to have to figure out where I want this to sit in the wall, and then cut a notch in here so that this thing will come in and sit where it's supposed to. Once again, not everything is perfect. Added some plywood on the top here that actually finishes out the floor. This opening that you see right here is going to be for the cable pass-throughs and stuff from the batteries up to the other electronics equipment. I may put my Lynx distributor down there. It looks like an easy and convenient place for it to go, so we'll see how it works. I haven't made up my mind on it yet, but this is all the electronic storage for the 12-volt system. I don't have as much on this side, so I am going to divide this in half, because I realized that I don't have any closet or storage space in here yet, so this side of the wheel well area is going to be a closet where I can hang stuff in it. And then above, at the top up here at this level, I'm going to close it off, and I have some storage bags that I'll use that'll go across the top on both sides and provide some up top storage there. I'll do the same thing here. I'll probably put a floor above where the batteries are going, and make some storage on this side once I know exactly where I'm going to get everything in place at. But kind of work on some cleanup. I'm using my battery tray for hardware storage for right now. One of the next things that I did that was quite challenging, but I was able to figure it out finally. I was having a hard time trying to figure out what I needed to use to go inside this fill tube right here for the gravity fill on my water tank. I tried all kind of stuff, couldn't get anything to work, so I found these polyethylene or propylene or whatever fittings at the lumberyard, and they wouldn't quite go in. So what I came up with was I took my heat gun out, I heated this up and got it fairly hot, and then I was able to get this pushed in enough to get it to go inside, and then I just tapped it in very lightly until it got seated down. While it was warm, I put the clamp on and clamped everything down nice and tight. I did that on both sides, and it's in there. The hose clamps that I have won't go around this tube, so I have to go back to the lumberyard and get me some other hose clamps to put on here. But it comes around here, and this is not a set length. I just put it in here for testing and stuff. But this T right here, this is going to actually serve as the air vent in the case that I'm using it for a gravity fill. But for the most part, this is all going to be gravity fill as well. I've got the hole marked for the outside input that provides an air vent, water input, and gravity fill. So I'll be getting that installed here in the not too distant future. Kind of leery about putting a hole in the side of the bus right now. I want to make sure I get it right before I do it, but that's where we're at on that. As you can see over here, if we get down inside of here, you can see I've done the same thing on this side as well, and got it in place. It's the exact same way, and I'm working on locating the gravity fill and stuff on the other side so that I can get that in place. Got my propane system back in place. It's not final yet. I just wanted to test and make sure that everything's working. I put an 18-inch pipe on it. One of the challenges that I run into is I'm going to have to take the cabinet out and put the propane in, because with that 18-inch pipe on the bottom of it, I can't get it to go in there. So I'm going to have to pull the cabinet out, get everything tightened up, get it down inside the storage cabinet down below, and then put the cabinet back in, and then lock everything in place where I need it to be. As you can see up here, you see the fitting for the stove. That's a little bit too low. It needs to be almost all the way up at the top of the where the plywood is for the fake countertop. And so I'm going to have to raise that up, which is why I got the longer pipe. It's definitely long enough. There's no doubt about that. And so I'll probably work on that today. Maybe we'll close that out today as well. I do want to start working on the penetrations on this side for that drain faucet that I was telling you about that goes down in the bottom of there. I want to get that pressure water inlet for the pressure feed into the bus from that on this side as well. That's a 3.5-inch hole. I'm not really excited about drilling that, but I'll get to that as well. One of the other things I did over here is I built another 16-inch cabinet on this side to space out a little bit and provide a little bit of counter space to the right of the stove that's going to be right here, and then the fridge will go right next to that. So that's what I've been working on right now. One of the next things I wanted to share with you, because we talked about it and I never really got to it, was my template that I made for being able to get the slope of the roof. And it's basically 3 different pieces of cardboard all fit and set together. I have checked and tested it, and it seems to be working no matter which side of the bus I go to. Put it in the right spot and it works. So I do have me a solid template that'll work on either side of the bus, so I'm really excited about that. That makes cutting those curves and stuff like you see up there a whole lot easier, and makes it easier for it to fit. So I'm not worried about the fact that it's not perfect, because I still have my ceiling that needs to go in up here, and that should close that out, and we'll be in good shape. So making a lot of progress. So right now we're framed on both sides, all the way from the bedroom area, shower on the right, vanity and toilet on the left, electrical cabinet on the left for 24 volt, electrical cabinet and storage cabinet on the right for 12 volt, battery compartment there, battery tray there. Got everything in place. The only thing I need to do now is really start kicking in and working on getting all this plumbing final and in place and all that. I was going to do it today, but it dropped down into the 20s last night, and this plumbing hasn't warmed up and it's real brittle, so I'm going to leave it with that. So I think for the rest of the day, one of the things that I want to do is I definitely want to put that propane system together final. One of the other things that I want to do is run the AC electrical for the mini split in the back, mini split up in the front, and then get the electrical down through the floor for the outside unit. Oh, one of the other things that I wanted to share is I did get the stuff that I need to extend the line set. I've got my 3/8 and 1/4 inch copper. I've got me a nice flare tool. Excuse me. I got a pipe cutter, and I've got all the various fittings and stuff in those little plastic bags down there in the bottom that you see. One of the other things that I may work on today, and I haven't made up my mind, but I think I want to try to do at least one tap into the tank and get the fuel line set up for the diesel heater so I can get that installed so that when it does get cold I have some heat in here. Got to get some power in here, but I can run it temporarily off of other power if I need to. So here's my AC electrical wiring stash that I have out here now because that's what I'm going to be working on. So that right there is 14. It's 14.3, but it's marine. So 14.3 marine is 14.2 with ground. And I'm kind of disappointed on that, but in 14 I'm not. But so this is 12.3. I've got close to 100, 200, 450 feet. One of the other challenges I have is this is 12 gauge red wire. Because this was 12.3, which is actually 12.2, and my mini splits are they pull max 15 amps, so I'm going to be able to run them on the 12, but they're not made for 220, and the mini splits are 220, so I'm going to run a red wire with them. So I'll have red, black, ground, and neutral all together to go forward and backwards. Same thing in the 10 gauge. I've got the same problem there. The red spool for the 10 gauge is for the outside unit so that I can run a 220 line out to the outside unit as well. So I've got plenty of wire. This 8 gauge right here is for a different purpose, and what this is going to do is provide basically crossover power from my 24 volt side to my 12 volt side. The whole point and purpose to that is specifically if I'm connected to shore power, I can bring shore power into my my electrical panel over here. When I do that, one of the things that'll happen, so this side will always be powered by my inverter. However, when I engage shore power into my inverter, this side will then become activated off of the inverter as well. So I'll have dedicated circuits that will only function when I am on shore power, and I won't have to have two inputs. I just bring my shore power input from this side over here into the inverter and provide my power in. From there, that will engage both outputs, the output 1 and output 2 of the inverter. Output 1 will always power this side, whether it's inverting or whatever. Output 2 will actually power this side, so I'll have dedicated circuits on this side that will only be powered when I'm connected to shore. And I'm looking forward to getting that in place and getting it tested without burning the thing down, but we'll see how that works. So at this point, that's where we stand right now. There's my fridge. I really am happy that that's in there. At this point, I think I'm going to shut this down, pull everything together that I need to get started in the next phase, and I'll be back. Well, I had to change things up a little bit. This breaker panel was bugging me, so I figured out a way to get it back in, and took care of that. Not paying attention, I put it in upside down, had to take it out and put it back in again. But anyway, the way I took care of it, and the reason that I took care of it, was I was originally planning on just notching this out, but then I realized if I did that, I wasn't going to be able to put the cover panel on, and I'm sorry, but I just don't like any exposed breaker. So what I did was I just took 2x3 actually, and put it in there to move it over a little bit, so that'll give me the space I need for the cover plate. And then I just moved this stud. You can see down there how much I had to move it to be able to compensate for it. I had to also make a trip to the lumberyard. I was planning on running some wiring, but I realized I didn't have any of the connector clamps or anything, so I went and got a few supplies to make sure that I had what I needed, so once I got started I could rock and roll and keep everything done. There is a couple of other things that I wanted to walk through and show you that I had previously done as well that I forgot to mention earlier on the walkthrough. So we'll come this way. If you can see up here, I actually brought my center insulation all the way front to the very front of the bus. I also took care of all my wiring issues, got my plywood in. I just got that one little bitty piece right there. I need to cut some reflectix and put it there. I got to figure out what to do up there where the door is and stuff. I want to try to figure out a door, but I need to figure out what to do with this, so I'm going to have to I don't know, think an engineer on that. So I got the insulation in over here. I got all my strapping in. I got a couple of pieces over there that I need to put in. I've got them, I just didn't put them in. I forgot to put them up there. I'm gonna have to get me some more of that 1-inch foam because I need to put the pieces up there, and then start working on trying to insulate down behind the wiring all the way down the back of the bus so that I can get to a position where I'm ready to start closing all of that in as much as I'm going to. But I do want to get my ceiling up, cabinets up, things like that. So I want to try to work on getting that insulation. So I need to get me some more 1-inch insulation. I mocked this up to see what this was going to look like. So this is a better representation of what the sink will look like when it's actually sitting in the counter. I put one of my side pieces that I have, that was the table on the other side, and put it over here and supported it up so I could see what it would size out like. Not final, but it's really close. So I'm looking forward to trying to get that in, get all the plumbing done. One of the other things that I did, I had mentioned that I wanted to take this cabinet out and work on the propane system. I actually did that. As you can see, this is up quite a bit higher. Might need to come up a little more to reach the stove, but I'm not exactly sure. And then if you look down here, you can see that I've got it in there and braced up to get me close to the right height. I'm not going to leave that wood in there to brace it up. I'm going to actually figure out a way to clamp it and support it so that it doesn't move. But that's the other thing that I was doing while I was out, besides going to the lumber yard. So I think what I'm going to do now is take you outside and maybe we'll see if we can close out the other end of the propane system and then call it a wrap on this video so I can get this one out. Okay, well, here we are. I got the tank out. We're underneath. You can see the pipe coming through the floor right here. And I've got this fitting right here going into the switches for the tanks. So the first thing that I want to try to do is go ahead and get this particular fitting tightened up and make sure that it's in good shape. I did have to break apart the flow restrictor on this thing so that I could get it in without the hose on. But I just want to tighten this up, make sure it's good and snug. Don't want to break this for sure. Alright, I'm going to call that good. Once I get this all put back together, I am definitely going to, I've got some propane detectors I'm going to put down here and up inside. And I'm going to use one of my 15-gallon tanks and connect it up and test it to see what happens. It'll be interesting to see how it works. But at this point, the next thing that I need to do is put on my flow restrictor, making sure the flow, if you can see right there, so the gas is coming this way through the tube and up into the system inside. Put this on here. And one of the things I wanted to point out, I probably could have put a little bit more torque in that other fitting, but the reason that I didn't is because I want to more or less take advantage of progressive torque, and if anything happens to be a little bit loose, it will all tighten up together as it goes on. And as you can see, that top fitting is still turning. So with that, I'm going to stop there, go to this one, because it doesn't seem to be wanting to move. And these are all brass fittings, so they are not like iron pipe, that's for sure. All right, so that's taken care of. Next thing I want to do, form and fit. Sorry for the noise. transform and fit this flare fitting, which is the main gas input line to the bus. Go ahead and get that on there. Go ahead and get some torque onto that one. All right, and that's that. So the next thing that I need to do is this fitting, which is the flare for the hose, and then the pipe right there. So that goes on just like that. I don't cross thread it. Oh. One of the challenges that I may run into as I'm trying to tighten this up is that the pipe upstairs is going to turn somewhat. Hopefully it'll turn to a point that it locks in place, and then I can continue to get this torque down. I'm going to call that good. All right. One more connection and my entire propane infrastructure will be complete. All I have to do is put my stove in. That's not right. That's more like it. And this is a flare fitting, so it doesn't require any tape or anything, and doesn't really require a whole great deal of torque either. But I'm going to give it a good snug. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, propane system is in place, done, and connected. The only thing I have to do now is clean out the storage unit. Once I get that cleaned out, I will go ahead and get the tank back in again and give it a test run and see what happens. I may actually do the test run before I put the other tank in, so that I can just connect my tank to this line right here and then flip the switch so that it's on the right side and get some propane going into the bus. See how it works. All right, well, I appreciate you. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Give me some comments, tell me what you think, tell me how I could do it better, and I'm going to call it a wrap on this video, and we'll see you on episode 8.